Why is it overrated? You know what I mean?
One out of 100. Accent is some kind of
Right, guys, welcome to It's More Than Just Money, where we delve into conversations with industry leaders, entrepreneurs, and business people that are making a difference in the South African business landscape and abroad. Now, today it's going to be a fun, amazing conversation that we're going to be having with the legendary Allan Hirsch. But before I get into that, you must remember that on the 5th of April, we've got the It's More Than Just Money Business and Property Seminar taking place in Rustenburg at the Royal Marang Hotel. We've got a phenomenal speaker that's coming all the way from Gaborone, Botswana, Mr. Mompuluki Lerumo Mogobe, who is an entrepreneur and business person and a property investor who's built up a nice portfolio of a little bit over R1 billion pula. And I think you and I need to be in that place just to learn, ask questions, take any nuggets that we're going to be using to apply in our businesses and in our workplaces and in our careers. Now, coming back to today, I have the privilege of sitting down with a true icon in the South African business landscape, Mr. Allan Hirsch, the co-founder of Hirsch's, one of the largest and most respected home appliance and electronics retailers in the country. Now, Allan and his wife, Margaret, started Hirsch's from humble beginnings in 1979, building it into a household name with multiple stores and strong presence across South Africa. Known for their commitment to customer service, innovation, and entrepreneurship, the Hirsch family has created a legacy that extends beyond retail, championing business development, mentorship, and community upliftment. Today, we'll explore Allan's entrepreneurial journey, business philosophy, leadership insight, and the evolution of the retail industry, gaining invaluable lessons from a man who has built a business empire from the ground up. And those are the conversations that are going to build you and I up. You know, Allan, most of the time when people meet somebody who has built the remarkable business that you've built or has done well, we are more interested in the glory. And I always say that more than the glory, the story matters, because the story is what teaches us the grassroots level of starting and building up to something that's great. But welcome to the It's More Than Just Money
Thanks
channel.
very much. An amazing build-up. I didn't realize you're talking about me.
How does it feel when you hear that about yourself? I mean, many years later.
Strange. I don't think of myself like that at all. I'm just like a normal guy that... should I tell you his story in the beginning?
Yes.
Okay. I was held back in class 2, grade 2, failed grade 4, and my parents suggested I go to a school with smaller classrooms and fewer people so they could focus on me, because I was supposed to be not as bright as other children. And I went off to boarding school, and I actually remember it so well, because there I was with jacket too big for me, pants hanging over my knees, socks up to my knees, waving my parents goodbye, crying my eyes out. And they said, "Don't worry, we've got some food for you left in your case. When you get back to your dorm, you'll find it." I went back to my dorm, and other people in the dorm had found the food before me.
Sure.
And so it was a hard year, but I passed that year. And it was like, yay. And then that year, my father found out he had high blood pressure, and they suggested he move down to the coast. So we went to Chalkers Rock on the north coast of Natal, and I went into Msloli Primary School. There they had, can I speak standards, standard 3 and 4 in the same classroom, English and Afrikaans medium in the same classroom. Needless to say, I failed again. Eventually...
Did you fail Afrikaans?
I failed everything. The next year I passed, I got the progress prize. But then I went to high school. I went to a boarding school in Pietermaritzburg. I went to Pietermaritzburg Tech, and I studied electrical work to be an electrician. And one day I was hitchhiking, and a guy picked me up in a van, and he said, like, where are you going? I said, I was going to Salt Rock, wherever I was going. And he said, what do you do? I said, I'm at school. What school? I said, Peter Marisburg Tech. What are you doing? Electric. He says, no, don't be an electrician.
He said, don't be an electrician.
Be a refrigeration mechanic like me. So I said, okay.
So at the time you were studying electrical engineering?
No, just like to be a wireman.
Well, right,
just
being an electrician.
Yeah, basic electrician. Yeah, because my goal was to get to grade 10, standard 8, and leave school and start working, because I know my brain wasn't too good at those stages. And my teacher said to me, Hirsch, you'll never make anything of your life. You must understand this.
Your teacher said that to you?
Yeah. So anyway, I decided when I leave school I'm going to be a fridge mechanic, but I failed grade 10, standard 8, and I went home to my father with my court card with all these red rings on it, and he said, son, you must realize you're never going to get a matric. Go get a trade. Maybe one day you can buy a bucky and start your own business. And that little seed was in my head. In those days, unfortunately, we had to do army training, so I did my army training. And after my army training, I got a job at a company called Fuchsware, which unfortunately doesn't exist today, but it's an African company in Alberton that made fridges, stoves, washing machines.
So you had moved from Durban now?
No, I'm still in Durban.
Still in Durban?
Yeah, but the company was based in Alberton, but they had a branch in Durban.
Yes.
And I got a job there as an apprentice to fix appliances, learn to fix appliances. In the end of my 4th year of my apprenticeship, it was a 5-year apprenticeship in those days, I met this girl called Margaret. I mean, she knows a good thing when she sees it. We were married 11 months later, and we moved in a little flat in Durban. And our next day was a retired school teacher.
Where did you meet Margaret?
I used to play cricket, and she was going out to the captain of the first team, and I was captain of the third team. So we'd see each other at cricket socials, and then they broke up, and we went out one Friday night, and she was there, and we started speaking, and I took out her roommate, and my friend took out her, and the next Friday night we saw her, and she said to her roommate, now she wants to go with me, and that's how it started. Basics, going out Friday night, seeing her, meeting a nice girl. So we got married, moved to a little flat in Manning Road in Durban, retired school teacher. And Margaret said, Allan believes he's stupid. Well, my teachers told me I was. My friend said, you can't spell money, how are you going to make money? So I then believed that was my journey. I was going to be a fridge mechanic, fixing fridges or air conditioners. And
you told Margaret you believed you were stupid?
I didn't tell her.
Okay.
But I just, when she said, what do you want to do with your life? And I want to fix fridges. And, I had no ambition, no real goals, nothing. And our neighbour said, there's a Professor Logue who specialised children with learning problems. Why don't I go and see him? It was 15 Rand an appointment an hour in those days. As a last year apprentice, I was earning 35 Rand a week. So I waited till I had to come out of my apprenticeship, had enough money. I went to see Professor Logue, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 2-hour appointment. At 6 o'clock, he stopped me and said, you're a classic dyslexic, you've got a handicap, learn to overcome it. And as he said that, my life changed. I can do anything. I just believed it.
He told you can do anything?
No, he said, you can overcome anything. And I believed then, as I do today, I'm not stupid, I can do anything.
Why did he say those words, according to you? Why did he say?
He said, you've got a handicap. You're dyslexic. You've got a problem, but you're not stupid. He says, and if you want to write a letter, get your wife to write it for you. So don't worry, don't try to overcome dyslexia at 25. Just go on with your life and believe that you can achieve.
And that was the turning point.
That was the switch. The light came on. I can do anything. What do you want to do? Open my own business.
Now the seed that your father sowed by saying one day you can buy a bucky and start a business.
But I doubted myself. I didn't have the confidence to do what I wanted to do because inside there I think, can I really do it? What happened then, I we bought land in Margaret worked for a building society, and we bought some land and we wanted to build a house. And I told my service manager that we wanted to build a house in the northern part of Durban, and can I start working there so when the builders start working, I can see what they're doing. So he said yes. And when I was working in that part of Durban, people were saying to me, can you fix my Defy fridge? Can you fix my Hoover washing machine? And I'd say, no, I work for Fuchsware, but you've got a local electrician, go to him. And they said the service isn't any good. So I approached Mr. Kern at Atlas Radio, and I said, I believe you've got a problem with the service department. He said, I've just employed somebody, let me see how it goes. He phoned me 3 months later and said, it's not working. I must come and see him. So I went to see him, and he said, I want to start a separate company called EAR, Electric Appliance Repair Company.
Yeah.
Electric Appliance Repair Company. I'm going to give you 40% of the business. I'm going to keep 60. You do the repairs. I'm going to do all the sales. But if something is not worth repairing, tell me, I'll phone the customer and we'll sell them a new washing machine or fridge, whatever they need. So I said, fine. And he'd been in business for 30 years at this stage. So I'd go out and I'd go to a customer, washing machine is not worth repairing. I'd say to Mr. Kern, Mrs. Jones, whoever it is, the washing machine is not worth repairing. And on Tuesday night when we had a meeting, I'd say, did Mrs. Jones buy a new washing machine? And he'd say, no, she went to a discounter. So I said, well, why don't you sell it at the same price as the discounter and keep your customer? Don't tell me how to run my business, he said. You focus on the sales. You focus on the repairs, and I'll focus
fixing the
sales.
stuff, yeah.
At that stage, my son Richard was born. 17 months later, my daughter Lucy was born. We were in the same conversation. And he said to me, if you think your ideas are going to work, why don't you start your own business?
Boom, again.
That was the next switch. I went back to Margaret, 2 children. Lucy had just been born. Richard was for 18 months at that stage. And I started my business. She says, great timing. 2 years ago, we didn't have a house. Now we've got a house. We've got 2 children. I'm not working. You want to stop working? And we've got 900 Rand in the bank. I said, that'll be enough. So we started with 900 Rand, 300 Rand rental, 300 Rand electricity. And because I'd been working, and there are a lot of fly-by-nights in the industry that go to a person's house, pick up a fridge, say they're going to repair it, and never return it. So I didn't want to have that type of reputation. I wanted to have integrity. So I had invoice books with my number on it, my address on it, so people could find me if they needed to find me.
Your home address.
No. We hired premises for 300 Rand a month, yeah. So
Yes.
that's how we started, slowly. And then 4 people who worked at the old company came up on the Monday I started.
At EAR, the ones who worked at EAR.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
worked with me.
Yes.
Came up on the Monday and said they want to work for me. I had to pay them on that Friday. Biggest commitment I've ever made in my life. I had no money. I knew I had to work like hell to get the money in, to pay them on that Friday. And I did. And the next Friday, and the next Friday. But I said to them that I'm going to be at the shop doing repairs. One guy's going to carry my toolbox. One guy's going to stand, if I bring a washing machine for repair, he's going to strip the washing machine for me. One guy's going to fix irons and kettles and toasters. And one's going to drive if we need him. But when I'm out and a customer comes in, you've got to learn to speak to them nicely. Thank you for bringing a washing machine in. You don't answer the phone by saying hello. You answer the phone by saying, hello, this is Hirsch's Electrical Repairs. And, just basics that represent me when I wasn't there. And when you return a customer's washing machine or fridge, it's got to be as clean as it was when they bought it. Don't send it back dirty. Don't think we're dirty. So it was just the basics we taught them. And they grew, and the business grew, and Margaret would come in at night and do all my inverse voices and paperwork for me. And we'd bring the kids in, put them in cots in the workshop while I did repairs. So it was good days, I must say. Eh?
So in the beginning, obviously, you started off fixing appliances.
Correct.
When did you transition into retailing them?
When I was at a customer's house and a washing machine wasn't worth repairing, I'd say the discounters are selling this machine at 299 Rand, whatever it was in those days. I said, I can get you a machine at the same price. And I'll bring it today. And
Was that the first? Was this the first time?
The first time, yeah.
You sold the washing. You still remember?
Yeah. It was a Defy washing
Do
machine.
you remember the customer's name?
No, I can't remember that.
Yeah.
299 Rand. I went to a discounter. I bought it. Went to the warehouse, picked it up. Went to the customer's house. Took the shipping braces out, put it into position. Connected up. Showed them how to use the machine. And they paid me 299 Rand. And I was lost money because I wasted half my day was driving around. But I got a phone call. You got my auntie a fridge, can you get me one? You got my auntie a washing machine.
Because that customer told other people.
Yeah. And so it slowly started. And for 2 years, suppliers wouldn't give me an account because I had no credit record. And after 2 years, they gave me an account. And you could buy something, sell it, and pay for it after 30 days. So I wasn't using my money to pay for it. I was using the customer's money to pay for it. And that's when the business changed. And
Do you think, when I listen to your story, right? I don't know if you're a person of faith or you believe in God.
I believe in God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think that even the dyslexia that people said you had, God intentionally gave it to you so that you can find your path?
It was a gift, definitely a gift. At first, I thought it was garbage I was pulling around with me. And I opened it up, and it was a wonderful gift. But you've got to realize, when you're dyslexic, you start to think laterally, left and right, left and right, left and right. There's a solution. I've got to find it quick. Because when I was at school, and I was had to write an essay, or I had to find the words I could spell to tell the story. So my mind was doing this the whole time. Find a solution, find a solution, find a solution. And you ask yourself questions, and you get answers.
And how do you think it helped you manage other people? Like you started with the 4 guys that left the other company.
Communication is right. Don't shout at them if they do something wrong. Explain to them what you want done. So you've got to communicate and say, this is how I want it done. A very important lesson I learned many, many years later is that, Mark Sham?
Mark Sham, yes.
Yeah,
I know Mark Sham, yes.
I went to a talk of his, and he had a talker from America who was a journalist, and he'd interviewed the best people in the world, And he said, find somebody in the audience you don't know, and you're going to ask them a question, they're going to ask you a question. And he says, ask them, why is their best friend? And I asked this guy, and he said, because we grew up together, and we think alike, and we enjoy the same types of things. So I said, okay. And then the next question was, ask me, what's the best lesson your mother ever taught you? And I thought, chocolate cheesecake. She taught me how to make chocolate cheesecake. And then I thought, when I was a young boy of 7 or 8 living in Johannesburg, my mother would, on a Saturday morning, lie in bed and say, get up, and because I'm Jewish, I must go to synagogue.
Yes.
And I thought, well, why didn't she come with me? And then I realized that taught me to be a leader, not to tell other people what to do, to lead from the front and others follow.
Wow. So I'm gonna pause it there a little bit because I want to speak to these guys on the camera that are watching. I've got a question for you. What are the things that you can think of that your mother or your father or anyone else that said to you that might have looked negative, but that actually could have sparked something for you to start on your journey of life? Or when you look back, something that's positive, that when you look back has actually transitioned you to where you are now. Now, if you're watching and you love the work that we do, you love our guests, please remember to support the work by buying the book. It's more than just money. It is the reason we are able to head out and look for quality guests that are able to sit with us and give you good quality information that you can apply in your own life. Now, when you look at all the things that form part of the ingredients, so to say, to building up Allan Hirsch, I think it led to you building one of South Africa's biggest appliance retail company. What do you think were some of the key factors behind the success?
Well, I just want to correct you. It wasn't me. It was a team.
It was a team.
Because one person is not a significant number. You need more than one. So I think the big change came when we started buying appliances and selling them 30 days. A wise old salesman came to me and he said, you know, Allan, microwaves are a big thing. I said, what do they do? He said, they cook quickly. I thought, well, everybody wants to go quickly. So I bought 2 microwaves and I put them in my tiny little showroom, probably the size of your studio. And I had old washing machines and fridges and chest freezers that I'd repaired that I was used to sell second-hand goods. And I put these 2 microwaves
In your shop, in
my little workshop, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I put these on top of the old appliances. After 30 days, I hadn't sold them. Why? Because I didn't know how they worked. After 60 days, I hated them because I'd paid for them and they're still there and it's costing me money now. So I phoned Margaret and I said, I want to bring a microwave home to see how it works. So
You didn't know how it worked?
didn't have a clue, but they just said it's a new thing, you must get it. So I said, okay. So I took it home. She cooked the chicken in 20 minutes. Wow. Baked a cake in 4 minutes. Couldn't believe it. We called our neighbors and said, come and look at this.
Your workers?
Our neighbors.
Your neighbors,
Because
yes.
we did it on a Saturday afternoon.
Yes.
And the neighbors come in and said, you've got to tell people about this. This is amazing. So I can never remember how many people we invited, but we invited couples to come to have a dinner in our showroom. And Margaret and a friend of ours, they did a starter, they did a main course, they did a roast chicken, they did a leg of lamb, they cooked a cake in a shoebox in 4 minutes, and we invited the people to taste the food. One man said to his wife, would you like one? And she'd say, I'd love one. Now, as I said, I never remember how many people we invited, but if it was 13 couples, 11 couples bought microwave that night. I thought we had made for life. Couldn't believe it. And
And that must have been expensive then, according to, it was a new invention.
yeah, but it was, I don't know, probably about 400 Rand, 500 Rand.
That was a lot of money back then.
It was because it was convection, it was top of the range microwave, eh?
Yeah.
And I was still doing repairs. So I'd go to a customer's house who had bought a microwave and I'd say, wow, how's the microwave going? And they'd say, we make coffee and heat the dog food. I said, but why don't you use it? We don't know how to. Back I went to Margaret and said, you've got to teach people how to use a microwave. Otherwise, they're going to hate it like we hated it.
Yes.
And
They bought it and they don't know how to use it.
Yeah, it's waste. It's sitting on the countertop. At that stage, we bought our first property. And it was an old butchery. We knocked the cold room out, the counters out. We made a little showroom downstairs. The garage was our warehouse. And upstairs where the butcher lived, we knocked the wall down between the dining room and the lounge. We made a cookery school and an archway into the kitchen so they could start teaching. And we started teaching people how to cook in microwaves. And every time we bought a microwave, we gave you 4 free lessons. And they'd teach you entertaining, cooking with children's parties, how to cook meats, how to bake. And that was the biggest turning point in our life.
Wow. And then when you were building the business, right, you said earlier that it wasn't one person that built it. It was a combination of a lot of people. What is the culture that was there then that ensured that the business itself built itself?
Well, the one thing we did was we looked after the pennies.
You looked after?
The pennies.
The pennies.
The cents, yeah.
Yes.
Because when you build a business, you keep the money in the business. You don't take it out. You make a little bit of money, you take it out of the business, you lose your business. So we kept the money in the business and we looked after it. We were tight. We never bought notebooks. We'd get old envelopes and write on the back of envelopes and pass a message on to somebody in an envelope. We were tight. We looked after money very, very carefully, and fortunately it grew. And every month we bought something, we paid for it in 30 days. We didn't buy stock that left lying around. Even today, we turn our stock as quickly as possible.
And how important was customer service then? And what were the strategies that you implemented to ensure that you maintain high standards when it came to customer service?
Politeness, courtesy, customer comes first. Without customers, we don't have a business. And once you understand that, they're royalty in your store. You make them feel welcome. You've got to look after how often do you buy a fridge? Every 8-10 years?
Yeah.
How often do you buy a washing machine? Same thing. You've got to treat a customer so when they come into the store and they leave it, they remember who they bought it from. Because I've been to social events, bras, dinner parties, and I've said to the person, where did you buy your fridge? Doll, where did we get it from? It didn't leave an impression on them. So when they leave it from us, they get a phone call the next day. Is it working okay? Any problems? Let us know. We had to look after you. You've got to look after your customer.
So, but over the years, while looking after the customers, doing business, retail has been changing. I mean, it has changed
You've
dramatically
noticed.
over the years. How have you adapted to these changes as
No,
a
you
business?
have to adapt. You can't stay in the same groove because you just go round and round. You've got to social media, online shopping. You've got to adopt. You've got to be right there in the beginning. You can't wait for something to overtake you. And, you get companies like Amazon, huge companies that spend fortunes on social media. And in our own way, you just got to do something different. You've got to do something which people notice you and you get your following and keep building.
Yeah. And while doing that, what role was innovation playing to give you a competitive edge as a business?
Well, technology changed so much with, in the early days when I was doing repairs, let's take a fire washing machine. It was the same motor, the same timer, the same spares for 10 years. Nothing changed. And it was a 5 kg washing machine. That's it. Now you get 5 kg, 6 kg, 7 kg, 8 kg. You get combination washer dryers. Some spin faster. Some use less water. Technology has changed so much. And if you don't have your finger on the pulse, you're going to be left behind. You just got to find out what the new features are and educate your team so they know.
But it sounds like also you had a certain level of love for refrigeration. Did that develop when that man who picked you up said, fix fridges?
Like my father planted a seed in my head, he also planted a seed. And, these seeds grow. And when you think of a fridge, it keeps your food fresher for longer. And if you put food in your fridge and keep it at the right temperature, it's going to save you money at the end of the day.
Yes. And I'm sure leadership might have played a role in leading. When we were talking earlier on, and I asked you how many people do you think you've employed in the last 45 years? The number was between 50 to 100,000, right? People. What are the leadership principles that you think have guided you throughout your career? Did you even think you were a leader when you started?
No, never. I've never had dreams of making money. I've never had dreams of being head of an organization. It's something that just developed because you're on a path that you take one step, it leads to the next step, and leads to the next step, and you keep going. And you just got to plan ahead. Where am I going to go this year? Where am I going to go next year? And keep going forward. You just got to keep looking ahead.
So, and then the principles that have guided you, that you think have helped you? I mean, you said your mother used to say, go to the synagogue on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Are there any principles that you learned either from the Torah or from being in the synagogue that you think you applied in business?
No. I'm not a religious person. I'm Jewish and I'm proud of it, but I don't practice the faith. I'll tell you another story.
Yes.
My grandfather was a rabbi. Okay, he had 2 sons. The oldest son was a very good sportsman and was chosen to play, I think it was tennis, because we're not quite sure, on a Jewish holiday. And his father wouldn't let him play and he committed suicide. My father rejected religion because of it. because his brother committed suicide because of it. And although I'm Jewish, religion was never pushed down on us.
Okay. Okay. So the principles could have been an inverse, like the other way around.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes, I'll apply the principles, but I'm not religious.
Yeah.
And within the organization, what are some of the mistakes you think you made
Oh,
over the years?
how much time have we got?
We've got enough time.
You know, you make silly mistakes. You'll never win an argument with a customer. So don't try to prove yourself right. Find a solution to the problem. So when you start saying to the customer, but, you know, this vacuum cleaner is full of dirt. You haven't cleaned it. That's why it's not working. How's the customer going to feel? You know, you don't want them to feel, you want them to feel like, oh, okay, they cleaned my vacuum cleaner for me, showed me how to do it, and I feel better now. Now I've learned. You know, you don't want a customer to feel inferior. So, and in the beginning days, you want to win an argument, you know, but you're going to lose a customer. So, having happy returning customers is what it's all about with us.
And then we talked about hiring earlier on, and you mentioned a few times that you love them out of school, or they're better out of school because then you can mold and teach.
Yeah, we like to get people young.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, and when you've worked in a certain company for a certain period of time, that's the way you think. And they come to our company and our culture is completely different. Are they going to settle in? You know, some do, some change, and some feel awkward. Because, you know, in the morning, first thing they do, we sing and we dance and we jump around and some people say, I'm not going to do this. You know? So, yeah, if you get them in and you educate them in our culture and they buy into it, some people don't. You know, we're not right for everybody. And if they buy into it, they become part of the team. I mean, we've got people with us. Well, Simon Margaret started with me, stayed with me for 40 years.
You have people that have worked for you for 40 years.
Yeah, well, he's retired now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got so many people over 30 years. We've got a big plaques for them. Yeah.
Wow. And why do you think they stayed with you?
Obviously, they enjoy what they do. They get a decent living lifestyle. And
Yeah, but they can do that anyway.
yeah, but they enjoy what they do. You know, they're comfortable with their work. They're bought into our culture. They understand the way we think, and they fit into it. Our financial director joined us about 10 years ago, interviewed everybody at head office, and everyone there had worked there for 14 years or more.
Yes. So that's what intrigues me. There must be something that you figured out about human beings and how to lead them that makes them want to stay.
No, I don't know what it is.
Is it the culture?
It's our culture, but I don't know if it's because we try to motivate the staff. You know, we have a little thing that there's a mat when you walk in the store, wipe your feet in the morning, leave your home problems behind, and when you go out at night, wipe your feet, leave your work problems behind.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's that or it's just the environment we live in. Or I mean, some people have come and left the next day. You know, some people take their handbags at tea time. We never see them again.
You know, one time I got a job at Woolworths.
Uh-huh.
And it's the only job, the shortest job I've ever done. I worked there for one day. So I get there, I was wearing formal clothes, like a shirt, pants, and formal shoes. I thought I was going to be in the storefront, greeting people, talking to them, showing them clothes and whatever they needed to buy. So the manager sees me and he says to me, come with me to the back. Takes me to the back of the warehouse and he says, you see that stack of boxes? Make sure they're all flat by the end of the day. I spent the entire day, morning, afternoon, and late afternoon stepping on boxes in my formal clothes. I didn't go back the following day. So I know what you mean when you say some people are there and by lunchtime
They're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to business owners on navigating economic downturns and tough financial periods?
One, keep your money in the business.
Keep
The money in the business.
the money in the
Yeah,
business.
you know, because you're doing well. How many times have I seen this? The guys are doing well, and all of a sudden they're driving nice cars. They moved into a new house, and the money comes out the business, downturn in the economy. There's nothing. When we spoke earlier about the looting before the interview here, we were fortunate that we got paid out 100%, but we had to start trading, as I said, 9 days later. We had to buy stock. We had to pay our staff. We had the funds to do that. You know, if we didn't, I don't know what would have happened. You know.
Yes, because waiting for the insurance payout also takes time.
Yeah.
Investigations, all of those things.
You know, my advice to business owners: communicate with your team members so they know what's going on. Make your customers feel special. They're more important than I am. Without them, we haven't got a business. And keep the money in the business. Don't take it out and waste it.
So that speaks to not having an ego in a way, because if you're saying the customers are more important than you because without them there's no business, it means you've removed yourself from the business. So what does then servant leadership mean to you? Because it sounds you're saying I'm a servant to the customers and to the business.
I am. I was brought up with a service mentality. My father was sent to a boarding school in England when this happened, when his brother died. And he was in a boarding school in England, which is very strict. He couldn't sit with his arms on the table. So when we couldn't start eating until my mother had started eating. I couldn't say, give me the bread. I'd have to say, please, may pass the bread. You know, and we were taught very strict manners. We were brought up very strictly. And with that in mind, it's come into the business. You got to be polite. You got to be courteous. You got to look after the people.
Wow, that's amazing. And what are your thoughts on servant leadership? Do you think the customers, employees, the business are more important than you because without them there's no business? Or do you think you're more important than the business and everyone else that works in it and buys from it? So on the 5th of April, we've got the It's More Than Just Money Business and Property Seminar at the Royal Marang Hotel in Rustenburg. I did say that our commitment is to find phenomenal people that have built businesses, getting them in rooms with you so that you and I can learn as much as we can from them. Part of it is having them sit down, have interviews like this one with us and share their journey so that we can grasp from it. So on the 5th of April, please find your tickets on web tickets and I'll see you in Rustenburg. So looking at navigating the retail and business landscape, right? Retail has faced many disruptions, especially with e-commerce. You mentioned Amazon earlier on.
Yeah.
You know, how has Hirsch's remained relevant in this digital age?
Mainly with younger people. Because, you know, the youngsters think differently to the way I do, the way my wife does. And fortunately, we got younger children as well, but you know, they're in their 40s now, so they're not that young anymore. But yeah, you've got to get advice. You don't know everything. You ask, you know, what do you think you do? You go to seminars. You know, we've been to so many seminars. We read so many books about business, about life.
You're attending seminars as well?
Yeah, plenty. And you know, although I can't read, I've read so many books because I fill in the gaps. I follow the story,
yes,
but I can't read to my grandchildren. I tell them stories, but I can't read to them. And I read so many books. It's
Wow. So what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned from competing in the South African market?
Well, as I said, customer comes first. Keep the money in the business. Look after your team members. You know, it's not rocket science. You know, if you try to reinvent the wheel, it's still going to go round.
Mm-hmm. And how do you believe the future of brick and mortar retail in a world dominated by online, right? Do you think brick and mortar retail is something that's going to keep being needed over the years?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Depends what industry you're in, but in our industry, definitely. You know, you can buy a fridge online, you can buy a washing machine online, but when you come in and the salesperson asks you what your specific requirements are, how many in the family, do your kids play sport, have you got any health problems, and they guide you to a product that you want. You don't get it online. I mean, online you see the product is to the price. Now, it looks good, it's in my price range, and you buy it. What happens when it goes wrong? That's where our strength is. Our service is, the business was built on service. So in our particular industry, I really believe that brick and mortar is going to be here forever.
Yeah. You know what you just said just prompted a question. AI related, you know how they say artificial intelligence is going to replace people. Do you think that would happen in your industry?
Possibly.
I mean, you just explained that.
It's possible.
I mean, I don't imagine a robot, perhaps maybe, explaining, do your kids go to school? Do they play sports? What sort of fridge would work in your household?
I think it definitely would give you a guideline.
Yes.
But then you want to actually see the product. You want to touch it. And, there's some machines that look beautiful today and other machines which look as beautiful, but you open the door and it's going to squeak, and you open the other door and it's clong. It's a proper, like a good car door closing. And you think to yourself, well, that's why there's 2,000 Rand difference in the price. And you don't get that online. You've got to open the door, close the door, feel inside, look at the shelves.
So it's important to experience the product yourself.
Maybe I'm a bit biased, but I believe so.
So I know you love South Africa. You've said so yourself. You even said that you've concentrated all efforts to build business within SA. When you look at South Africa, how do you see the business landscape evolving then in the next 5 to 10 years?
It's going to have its challenges, but with it, there's opportunities. I love this country. I believe in this country. I believe the opportunities here are outweigh all the challenges.
Now, when we look at what you and Margaret have built, I mean, it's an incredible business, and you've contributed so much to the community. What motivates you beyond the business success?
In what? Looking after the community, or?
So, I mean, obviously, you already look after the community.
Correct, yeah.
You already have a successful business. The motivation
for
you,
tomorrow.
Yes.
We've got young people in our business. I've got 5 grandsons. I'd really love them. The ones in grade 11 this year, others in grade 3. I'd really love them to come into the business and keep the business going into the next generation. It's in the 2nd generation. I'd love it to go into the 3rd generation. And I've sat down with them and I've told them our story so they understand our culture. My little grandson had a talk at school the other day and he told the family history, which I thought, wow. I mean, you don't get grandkids talking about their grandparents at school these days. In a business world, they might say my grandfather bought me a lollipop or whatever, but, he told a family story, which is fantastic.
And how, I mean, that speaks to mentorship. I mean, you want to transfer skills, you want to transfer knowledge through stories. How important is mentorship to you? And what role did it play in your business philosophy?
Huge, because the person you see here today is not the person that started the business. I've learned so much from other people. We've been to America, to England, to watch powerful motivate. Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins, yes.
Yeah, we've been to him 3 times. It's phenomenal to learn from people like that. Jim Rohn. We do the motivation talks every single day at work, and you get ideas, from people. Jim Rohn's my favorite saying. He says, "You can't change winter, but you can change yourself."
Yes.
And it's when you start saying the problem's over there, the problem's normally here. within you. And if you can fix it, then you can fix other problems.
Wow. What is the legacy you hope to leave behind, both in business and your personal life?
Well, I really like the business of going to the third generation and have a reputation of giving people good service at the right price, quality products that last in their home. It keeps their children clothes clean, keeps their food fresh, keeps them entertained with a nice TV. That's what I'd like to see. For myself, I don't know. I've never really thought about it.
Has the entire lifetime been about work? And
for the first probably 40 years, it's been all about work. And now we've taken the foot off the pedal a bit. I've handed over. The buying team's there, the marketing team's there. I'm not involved with it at all. Although I sit in the meetings and listen to them, I've handed over. I want the business to run without us.
Wow. What's next for you? Any exciting projects or initiatives in the pipeline?
Work-wise?
Yes.
Not really. Life-wise, yeah. We exploring.
You said you're not retiring.
No.
So
I'm not tired. As I said earlier, I'm going to retread it now.
Yes.
But business-wise, it's in good hands. But we just keep an eye on it the whole time. We're in a morning meeting every morning. We have directors meeting 3 times a week. Even if we're in America or wherever we are, we get up early in the morning. We sit in the meetings. We pass comment. We give advice, guidance, hear what they're saying, listen to them. So we're there, but it's got to run without us. Myself, I want to do things I've never done that I've always wanted to do. I'm now in a position where I can still do it.
Oh, that's on the personal side, I'm guessing.
Yes.
So a lot of the work is passion-related work, or what?
No, it is passion. It's all about passion. Someone asked me a question the other day, did you work hard? I said, I probably did, but I never felt like hard work. I enjoyed what I did. I didn't mind getting up early in the morning. I didn't mind working late at night.
Wow.
It had a purpose.
So what are some of the daily habits and routines that have contributed to your success?
Getting up early.
Yeah? 4 o'clock? No, you don't put on makeup.
When I went to gym every morning at 5, I got up at 4. I don't do it anymore. But up to COVID, I got up 4 o'clock every morning.
Yeah.
Gym at 5. When COVID came, I stopped that. So, but yeah, up at 5 every morning, early to work. When we're in South Africa, visit all the branches, communicate with team members. No, I'm not involved in the day-to-day running, but I'm there in the day-to-day supervision of how it's done.
And because it's become a habit.
It's something as I said, I'm not tired. I enjoy doing it. I love it.
Wow. So if you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Realize that mistakes are going to happen and you learn from them and you benefit from them. So if you make a mistake, don't think, geez, I'm so sorry I did that. You made a mistake. You learn from it and you become better from it.
What is the one book, principle, or philosophy that has had a profound impact on your journey?
I love Zig Ziglar.
Yeah.
I've read some of his books. He's fantastic. Some of his thinking has helped me a lot. A lot of motivation books I've read that I've really enjoyed. I don't think there's one book, but Zig Ziglar's books I really enjoyed.
I remember one quote of his. I don't know if it will resonate with you. It says, you can get anything that you want.
As long as you get enough people get what they want.
Yes.
And that's my favorite saying.
Is that your favorite saying as well?
Yeah. And that's exactly what we say at Hirsch. You get happy customers, they give you money.
Yes.
They come back.
So we've got young people that are watching here. Some are not so young. They're probably in their 70s. Nonetheless, they're young anyway.
Yeah.
And they're watching through that camera. And if you were to speak to them, some are black, some are white, Indian, colored, young and old, rich and poor. If you were to speak to them now and you were to leave a message for them to play a role in making South Africa better, what would you say to them?
Well, I'd say to them that this is a great country. It's got great opportunities, guys, but nothing comes without hard work, dedication, focus, and discipline. You know, you can't start something and say, well, this is the way it's going to be if you're not prepared to put the discipline into to make it happen at the end of the day. But enjoy your journey. You're going to love it, and this country is amazing. Just make it great.
Wow, amazing. So for me, on their behalf, I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
For making time to sit with me. I know how busy you are, so I don't take it lightly. I appreciate it so much from the bottom of my heart. And finally, where can people follow your journey even more, connect with you for mentorship or business insight?
Yeah, it's quite easy. Allan Hirsch.co.za. I'm on Facebook. You go into our website, it says, tell Al, I'm Al. Phone me. My phone number's there, 082 777 2277. It's always on. Contact me. If you've got a problem, tell me. Don't tell your neighbors. They're not going to fix your problem. I'm going to fix it.
Allan, I appreciate you and thank you so much.
Thank you. I really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you. And if you're watching and you're not inspired by that, like I always say, I don't know what's going to inspire you, because we try our best to find you people that are truly inspirational, that care about the country, that care about the development of the world. And if you haven't subscribed, please click on that subscribe button, click on that notifications bell so that you don't miss any of our upcoming interviews. And those of you who are coming to the Business and Property Seminar on the 5th of April at the Royal Marang Hotel in Rustenburg in the Northwest, I'm looking forward to seeing you there, engaging with you, and basically empowering each other and making our country a better place to live in for all of us. It's more than just money. We'll see you in the next episode. Ciao, ciao. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. That's amazing. Wow. But I feel like with you, and
Yeah.